buyer do a final walkthrough? Hi, I'm Denise. I sell real estate here in the Villages, Florida and throughout Central Florida. And the resounding answer is yes. You're a buyer, you're buying a new home. Don't you want to know what you're buying before you put ink to that contract and get those keys and you take ownership? Of course you do. So we're going to schedule you that final walkthrough. Now, it could be the morning of closing, it could be the day before, but it needs to be right before closing so you can get your eyes on your dream home one more time before it's yours. So, a couple of things you're going to look for as a buyer when you're doing your final walkthrough. One, the home should be in the condition in which it was purchased. So when you first went in and you wrote that offer, you should have the expectation the home's going to look like that, maybe minus the seller's furniture. But the home should be in working order and should be in the condition in which you're purchasing it. So we're going to do the walkthrough. We're going to look for a few things. One, we're going to make sure that everything that was in the contract is there. So in the Florida Standard FAR/BAR contract, you're going to see a lot of things, window treatments, appliances, things that are affixed to the home. That's great. We're still going to make sure they're there. Nothing's been removed. And you might have added some things. So maybe the washer and dryer was part of the negotiation. Maybe some of the yard ornaments were part of the negotiation. There could be things, the wall mounts for the television sets, anything in there that we need to make sure is still there, we're going to do in that walkthrough. So we're going to walk through the kitchen, make sure the appliances not only are there, but are in working order. We're going to run all the water and all the faucets in the bathrooms and the sink and make sure the water's all working. We're going to test the AC, make sure it's in working order. Might even want to check to see if the filter's been changed. Good indicator. We're going to do all those things to make sure that the home that you're buying is the home you thought you were buying when you put in that offer. You're paying for it either today or tomorrow. So before money's exchanged, let's make sure you know what you're buying. The second thing you're going to be looking for is to make sure it is clean. Now, everybody has their own standard of cleanliness, and I understand that. And I guess it's kind of accepted that broom swept is kind of the standard for moving in. Let's do better, guys. I have buyers, they're coming into a home, they have been dreaming about this home the whole month, waiting to get to this day. And their first impression, the lawn should be cut, and they should be able to walk into their home and it should be clean. Really spring for the professional cleaner and make sure that home is clean so those buyers still have that excited feeling. Wouldn't it be horrible to have a deal fall through at the last minute because the buyer walks in and they are horrified at what they see and what's been left behind? So no trash left behind. Garbage cans empty. Get all the cardboard boxes you didn't use, take them to the dump. Get rid of all that. So when the buyer walks in for their final walkthrough, they are super excited and as excited as they were when they put in the offer, knowing that this home has been left to them as being taken care of, good steward. And they're going to be able to come in and bring all their belongings and everything to make it home. Because not everybody's going to come in and do adjustments and paint and maybe change things. Some people, they've got their moving van parked right outside. They're ready to go. I'll give you an example. And I'm standing here for a reason in front of French doors. I had some clients that did a great job of cleaning the home they were selling. And we went to go do the final walkthrough. We also had a remote notary, so we were doing a remote closing. We were meeting at the property they were buying. And the front door was a lovely French door. And we walk up on the porch, and glass panes on the bottom of the French door are broken. And there's glass all inside the home. Not a great first impression when you're walking through those doors. Then we walk inside the home. It wasn't broom swept. So dirty. The kitchen was dirty. Nothing had been cleaned out. Really, like, I want to look inside a refrigerator and feel like no one's ever used it before. I would take the glass out, the rubber off. It's cleaned, it's soaked. There's no indication that it's not a used refrigerator. In this house, it was really gross. So my buyers, we made some phone calls. And they were okay with the condition of it not being clean, but we did actually have to do a little bit of negotiating on the broken glass because come on, it was a vintage door. It was a vintage 1950s home. You can't just run up to Home Depot or Lowe's and replace that. So it definitely not only was a damper for them, because immediately their first impression was great. They probably were moving things and broke the pane, but either they didn't notify their agent or their agent didn't notify us, so we had no idea what we were walking into. And that is really unfair to a buyer, because they can make the decision at that point whether or not they want to deal with it. So leave your properties tidy, and buyers, make sure you are doing part of your due diligence for the whole picture of this entire transaction, and make sure that you are doing the final walkthrough of your new home so that it's everything that you expected it to be and everything that you want it to be. Thank you for joining me. This was my buyer's edition of Should You Have a Final Walkthrough. I will have a follow-up on seller's responsibility with a final walkthrough, but make sure you like and share and subscribe, and I'll have more tips for you coming around the corner.